this has been a topic all off season between Bears Twitter and Packers Twitter. And I enjoy watching the Bears Twitter, just kind of the bigger names, right? Ill Will 79 and all those guys just dunk on Packers fans. But it's the Jordan Love versus Justin Fields debate. That's really what has, in my opinion, owned the rivalry Twitter space between these two teams for the last at least 3.5 weeks, it feels like. So I want to kick it around the horn with you guys here. In week 1, in this rivalry game, at Soldiers Field, as Juice said, who needs to have the better game in order for their team to come out on top? Q, want to hear from you first here.
In order for their team to come out on top, I was thinking more reputationally, but so in order to win, who has to have the better game? It's kind of a catch-22 because if I said it multiple times in the preview article I put out today, I just got done watching
on tapsportsnet.com, by the way. Continue.
Yeah. I just got done watching like 6 different Packers games, all 22, of like trying to find the Jordan Love bits and pieces and all this stuff. And on top of watching, the Packers offense, their defense. And I do not think they're going to pass the football except for when they need to. And there's a very reasonable statement that could be made of like, if the Bears can't stop the run without loading up the box, Packers probably win this game. And I think the Bears will find a way to do that. But that's why I say it's kind of a catch-22, because the way that the Packers win this game is the Bears aren't stopping the run, which means that Jordan Love isn't doing a lot. So I think I have to go with Fields for who has to have the better game for their team to win. Because if Jordan Love has to do a lot, I don't think the Packers win. But that's kind of weird too, because if Jordan Love does a lot and does well, maybe the Packers do win. So I actually take that back. I think Jordan Love is my answer now that I've talked it through a little bit, because if the Bears are stopping the run, then it's all on him. I mean, I watched the Green Bay tape from last year's Bears game. They were spying the hell out of Justin Fields with Quay Walker. So you're literally playing 10 on 11. So yeah, it's Jordan Love, because if they're stopping the run, it's still 11 on 11.
I dig it. I get it. Juice, your thoughts on this question?
Yeah, I kind of took that as reputationally too, because I feel like if Jordan Love comes out and outplays Justin Fields, there may be people jumping into Lake Michigan and not coming out again, man. It'll be house on fire if Jordan Love comes out, plays well, Justin Fields does not play well, and the Bears lose. Like we're all sitting here talking about this is our time to exercise demons, or it's time to, change the winds. The times are changing. If they don't change, God, man, this show will be brutal. All of Chicago will be brutal. I think there's a lot of Bears angst, and I think it's surrounded too with like both sides really don't know what we're getting. This is the whole thing with preseason too, right? They play vanilla coverage. They play, vanilla offense. They don't show much. So really they muddy the waters of what you could look at as football fans. And we sit here and we're trying to figure out, Justin Fields was handcuffed with no offensive line, no weapons last year. And Jordan Love hasn't had this experience yet. So there's a lot of what if. So I think that if you're looking at reputationally, like Justin Fields needs to have the better game. To win the game, I kind of agree with you, Q, that like I think in terms of X's and O's, there's a route for Green Bay to win easily with, Jordan Love being given things because the Bears are able to, stop certain, parts of the run game. And the other thing too is like if the Bears aren't getting a pass rush, Jordan Love could realistically have a very solid game. If he's able to sit in the pocket, much like we watched, Aaron Rodgers do time after time again, it's going to be a problem. Like the Bears are going to have to up some pressure. I watched your breakdown, Q, and I think, disguising coverages is something that you talked about often. Making him making him second guess what he's seeing, I think is huge. It's going to be that for both sides, though. And that's why, like, just to round it out, I think this game comes down to a special teams play here or a defensive, touchdown. One of those two breaks that, kind of put one of these teams behind the 8 ball. That way these defenses can play in a certain way and kind of dictate coverages and dictate the way that the quarterback plays on both sides.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you guys both. And fair, I think the question does become very different when it's siloed into 1 week versus in terms of reputationally, like you both said.
I got a question for Q because he's watched so much tape. He's gone through Jordan Love. I've been listening to a lot of stuff, been trying to read a bunch of stuff, jumping over to the Packers side of it. Is Jordan Love good, dude? Like, your honest opinion, watching as many snaps as you had. I just want to prepare myself for Sunday because I really, truly don't want to be blindsided by the fact that the Bears are going to have, or the Packers are going to have yet another franchise quarterback, and my whole life has been that.
What I will say to his credit, like his first start, his only start in his career against Kansas City, he was going up against D-line with Chris Jones and Steve Spagnuolo calling blitzes all over him. He looked awful. Like, that was an ugly game for a quarterback, and he didn't have much hope either. Like, it was like his best hope was just toss it up to Devontae Adams and see if he comes down with it most of the time. But after that, at the end of that season, he played the entire second half against Detroit in week 18. And then this past year, he played a good portion of the fourth quarter against the Eagles. He looked better in each one, so I will give him that. But he still just had those what the hell moments in the Detroit game. In the Philly game, it was such a small sample size, and a lot of it was like his numbers were fine, but it was really, he hit one throw over the middle of the field that was really well designed, worked out exactly like it's supposed to, and Christian Watson took it to the house from there. But the main thing I took away from most of his tape was thrown over the middle of the field has been really dangerous for him. A lot of balls that can be intercepted. He seems more comfortable going to the sidelines, and for that reason, he goes to the sidelines a lot more often. We will see how that changes as he gets more comfortable. Personally, I mean, I'm a big believer of, if anyone out there really wants to find out more about Jordan Love, I would suggest going and watching Robert Schmitz's video. It's outstanding. Like, I say that I put work in, he put 10 times the amount of work in on it. Like, he went back to his college tape, watched preseason tape, like as much as he could possibly get. And the main takeaway that he had that I see similar, like I see pretty similar to him, is Jordan Love could probably be a Jimmy G in due time. Like, he could be a Shanahan style quarterback who he has the answers and he's going to do what he's supposed to, and nothing more, rarely less, and just consistently doing exactly what he needs to. Now, that might sound nice, but then you realize Jimmy G had Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. I mean, there's a lot of talent on that 49ers team. Trent Williams is protecting for him. I mean, that makes it a lot easier to get to the right answers quickly when your right answers are always doing the right things. So that's kind of where I'm at with Jordan Love, of like, I think without the talent around you, you need quite a bit. And I'm not sure that I'm a believer in Jordan Love at this point, but I also hate to tear down a kid who's younger than me. So
sure.